Blizzard missed a potential massive win. We really do think that it might seem a bit wacky, but some new data mining has came out about one of their upcoming products and the PC platform. And this ties straight back to one of the controversial moments of course, BlizzCon 2018.
The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Which I think we all remember quite vividly.
I still think there are probably people at Blizzard who think that was one of the worst days in Blizzard's entire history.
Probably. It's like when it was one of their most... There was the likes of Geek Is, which was just a bit cringe because they were obviously just covering some time. But this was the genuine, you don't understand your audience moment.
Yeah, it was the first time I think the audience revolted live. And that really means something for a BlizzCon audience.
So imagine it's BlizzCon 2018, right? Wyatt's there. He announces Diablo Immortal for mobile. And when one of the audience members asks him about bringing it on PC, instead of him saying, we don't have any plans for PC, imagine if he said, our current plan is to soft launch on mobile when we think it's ready, but we're absolutely open to bringing it onto PC. Would you guys like that? Would there be thunderous applause? I don't think so.
Maybe not thunderous.
I really don't think so.
Yeah.
But I think it would have came over better. If they could have even then used that to have said, hey, this is going to go on PC. It's not going to have the type of monetization that you think bad of mobile games for having. They could have turned Immortal into something far, far, far better if they really wanted to and deeply understood their audience. At the time, of course, it's Blizzard. They're deluded. They think they're hot shit. They can't possibly imagine people not liking something they make. Therefore, that big embarrassment comes out. Now, this isn't just a pointless hypothetical that we're bringing up for this video, because we have got Steven of Wowhead, right? So Wowhead are the big, so much data mining they do for new World of Warcraft content. They data mine other things, though. And they have been data mining taking a look, snooping anyway, with Diablo Immortal. We have some interesting game files. Diablo Immortal is available on PC. Download the Battle.net desktop app to play. Very interesting. We then have some server names. We've got, Beta 000, Blizzard Take Home, a few things like that. And then one of them is Beta 000, Blizzard PC Review.
And that is, according to Steven, that's an internal server that they have for internal stuff, which means, if that's being used, maybe it's been set up, but is that them playing Immortal on PC internally? Yeah.
The thing is, for all these mobile games, they're all played in PC internally when they're being developed.
Of course, yeah.
So,
but PC
in a
review,
way, it's not that hard. Yeah, PC review is interesting.
Yeah, obviously you read that and go, PC review, that's a review build for PC. Okay, interesting. Maybe.
I mean, why would you do a PC review? Because with a different control scheme and all of that, it's not like it would be a great test for the mobile game.
Well, they did add control support to the one of the recent builds on mobile as well.
And that could be major. I think more and more people are actually getting those gamepads for their phones, and they are surprisingly good. I mean, hell, you can just connect a PS5 or Xbox, the new Xbox controllers, just to your phone. Yeah. And they work.
Yeah, and then that's where, you kind of go, well, if it's just play with controller on a screen, why not PC?
But Matt, it's impossible to do a mobile and PC crossover game that's free to play. It's literally never happened before.
Blizzard didn't
ever.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah, Blizzard didn't do it 4 years before. No, sir, not at all.
And obviously Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the ones that really opened up people to oh no, this is like a video game. That's like a video game that I can play, as opposed to something that steals my wallet without me noticing. This is literally a video game. It
does do that too.
Oh yeah, but at least you're playing a game while your wallet's being stolen instead of just seeing shiny lights.
That's the thing. Genshin Impact's a great game.
Yeah,
it plays good.
Yep,
I've played it on with a controller properly, and it's great. I've done that on the iPad version and the console version. And it's it turns out a game is a game.
What a surprise!
If done right.
Yeah.
Now Diablo. Absolutely. If you look at Diablo Immortal, like, sure, a bit of a simplified Diablo would be that, but that still could be a perfectly fine experience on PC.
Yeah, I mean, what do you call it? The Diablo 3, when it moved over to console, they were completely like, yep, we've managed to get this control scheme to work perfectly fine. So,
yeah,
I mean,
there are many people who will contend that just the direct punchiness of playing that on a gamepad with the control scheme that it's got on console, many people say it is plain more fun.
Yeah.
On console. So yeah, this could absolutely work with Immortal. And when we think about the business model case for Blizzard, I think, well, it would just make so much sense. So to get into things then with Diablo Immortal and what the hell's been going on, well, it was announced with a playable demo in late 2018. The iOS store was saying expected June 30th, but Blizzard have since clarified that's just a placeholder and there will be official launch timing soon. Now, Blizzard have also continually tried to really say, hey, this isn't just a mobile game, this is a real Diablo game, and a transformative one. We've got class switching, controller support, a whole bunch of fan-favorite classes, and this game has got years of iteration. Yeah, it definitely has. It's literally been years, and it's not like they've abandoned it.
Yeah, it's not like this has been completely gone. It's just been like fairly quiet in terms of alpha and beta stuff. But it has, like, people have had hands on. They've been like kind of mixed sometimes. I think it was I can't remember who it was. I think it was maybe IGN were saying the monetization elements were definitely like kind of in your face. But in terms of the game, it was like, yeah, it's a Diablo, it's fine.
Yeah, I've generally heard good things about the game. I know they had some updates on monetization relatively recently, I think within the last month or two. And that was mostly focused around making it feel better. So there could be sort of goodish news there. I mean, it's weird because you look at Call of Duty Mobile, and at least when I played that thing on launch, there was paying for cosmetics and stuff, but it did not seem to be doing, the big exploitative bullshit.
Yeah, it's not like, what you would expect of some of the worst gacha offenders or some of the worst like Korean and Chinese offenders game like monetization design wise. It was very much just, this is Call of Duty on your phone. So, I mean, if you're obviously, because they worked on this with NetEase, clearly they were targeting more of the Eastern audience. But at the same time, if they just go, well, why are we not just making this? Because Diablo 4 is still going to be a long time away. Why are we not just making this for this audience as well?
Yeah, it makes complete sense to put it on PC. And when you think about monetization too, like Lost Ark, people have definitely accepted a swipe to skip game there, haven't they?
Yeah, and I mean, that's what's interesting about this being announced in 2018. If they had held on a little bit and not been so aggro with this is Diablo on mobile, you're going to love it. If they'd accepted that by the time it's out, and everyone's like, this is now normal. This is what everyone's kind of learned, not to learn to love, but learn to tolerate because they know it. Whales are paying for your games.
Yeah,
that's
that's definitely fucking sad.
It's an unfortunate truth, but it means some good
sad,
goods.
and the reason why I will pretty much never play Lost Ark in a big way at endgame. Yeah. I just can't play a game that's swipe to skip.
Yep.
And Warcraft can have a little bit of swipe to skip via WoW token, but at least for the gold that I earn in game, not really a problem. And certainly you can't just, it's quite limited the swipe to skip in World of Warcraft because it's just like raid BOEs and shit.
At least officially.
At least officially, yes. There's plenty of
boosting.
You can get boosting and stuff. But just where it's like sort of there codified in the game mechanics, like with the honing system and stuff, that kind of opens you up to the worst things that people think about a lot of Korean games. So, if the new Diablo mobile game, like you just have some gear upgrades and it's just like, you can just flat out buy the resources and, just pour money in, you're done. So, yeah, it's kind of weird what people have came to accept. But we'll just have to see what this game is like for monetization because they are going to do a wave of iteration since the last time it was in people's hands in the closed beta test.
Yep, for sure.
Now, what this could mean for Blizzard as a business is actually quite large. So, if you look here, take up arms with your fellow Demon Slayers to reach our 30 million global pre-registration goal and unlock the Heradrim cosmetic set. So, they're aiming for 30 million. Now, if you look at the Crash mobile game, that hit 21 million in 4 days.
Yeah.
Well, everyone has a phone. Like, that's the problem. The literal answer to Wyatt Chang's question is like, well, yeah, I have a phone. We all have phones. That's not the point, Wyatt.
Yeah. More people do now as well.
Yeah. So, surely Diablo is a more known about franchise than Crash. Well, interesting when it's console gamers, but certainly for, like,
Yeah.
deep video game players, people fucking know Diablo. So
Yeah.
I think they will hit their 30 million. Now, if all of those 30 million just log in once,
Yeah.
that doubles their MAUs basically.
Over doubles, like.
Yeah, and this is a story that we last saw play out with Activision, where Call of Duty Mobile was utterly transformational to the monthly active users of Activision Publishing.
Yep, which obviously, as to whether that converts into user satisfaction or converts into money is a different story, but it's one of those key metrics that they're targeting. It's one of those things they want to work at. And it's one of those things that, obviously analysts and critics can bash them over the head for having like MAUs drop off. But if they're just like, yeah, we've got this big number now, you can't fuck this anymore. They're like, well, that's their goal. And if that's 30 million people, if at least a decent amount of them are having fun, then that's good work from them. Like.
Yeah, and COD Mobile is, shockingly enough, a pretty good game. I even remember connecting a controller to it and then putting it onto my TV just with a HDMI dongle from my iPad. And there I was with a high frame rate, back sniping people in Crossfire like it's COD 4 all over again. That was a weird experience, but it was still actually quite fun. So we could absolutely see those MAUs go up. And then, of course, we've got to think about the Warcraft franchise, because the Warcraft mobile game is going to be revealed in May. And to be honest with you, I'm really excited to see what it is. Not because I'm excited for a Warcraft mobile game. I'm just very, very interested in what the hell they're going to do. I have no idea what they're going to do. Like, is it going to be that Pokemon Go thing that apparently I think Corey Stockton was working on? Like, that seems like a bit of a weird thing to come out with now.
Way too late, yeah.
And it seems way too late. What's it going to be? I have absolutely no idea. But if it can hit some similar numbers, like, you could have, within 1 year or 2 years, an absolute step change in monthly active users for this company.
Yep, for sure. And I mean, if they can get the engagement to that, then obviously if they look at, obviously right now, Diablo Immortal is completely only planned for iOS and Android. But if they do go, you know what, we are working on PC, that is a pretty big announcement they can come out with. That will, I mean, obviously people go, oh, you do it now? Yeah, go fuck yourself, Blizzard. But there will be a lot of people going, okay, well, that's a major criticism taken away. That's a thing we didn't like and you've solved it. It took you 4 years, but you've solved it. If this Warcraft mobile game looks vaguely good, looks acceptable mobile, looks like an actual good experience, in the same way Hearthstone was like no one complained about Hearthstone being mobile that much. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's a PC mobile. Yeah, that's great. This is a game we want. If they can do the same with the Warcraft thing, and obviously it's slated for mobile, but if there's a chance that it's not a mobile, like pure mobile design game, if it is a bit more gameplay wise, like possible on PC, then that's just free wins for them all day long to go, yeah, here's games. Oh, you thought they were mobile only? You can play them on PC. We're nice like that.
Yeah. I have some near-term doubts, but those test strings are there is interesting. It opens it up to the possibility that they could, in a world where Diablo 4 is still going to be a while, which I think is it's a decently likely world. Like, they did recently have their quarterly update, which is nice to see, but it still could be a while. So you could see a Diablo Immortal being a stopgap, even if it's just so that, yes, some people will hyper whale that game, but at least for others to just go in, play through a Diablo campaign, enjoy themselves, go out, do something else, because Diablo brings in the numbers. Resurrected seems to have done incredibly well.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think this could be a part of them trying to just re-engage people in that franchise. And it seems like Resurrected, as much as it did have its controversies, got a lot of sales, got a lot of people on board, and all these things bode well for that audience still being engaged for D4, which, to be honest, looks pretty good to me.
Yep, and that's, I think, as much as it's easy to talk shit about everything Blizzard do, it's like, if they can just make good games, everyone will go back to their side slowly but surely. And I feel like it's all on the monetization for Immortal and how Diablo 4 is received, and obviously like their Warcraft announcements, but I don't want to huff a load of copium, but all it takes is them to make good games for a change.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do.
Genshin Impact is a mobile game. It's also a really good game. Yep. Whether you're playing it on mobile or if you're playing it on a console or PC.
That's the thing. It's not a mobile game. It's a game that's on your mobile.
Yeah.
Obviously, monetization aside, but yeah.
Can Immortal achieve that? That's the big question. Yep. We probably won't have to wait that long because we're thinking first half of this year for it to come out.
Weird that they obviously were happy enough to talk about Hearthstone and all the Warcraft stuff, and they've lined that up for May. So I wonder if they're just... This is basically what I've been thinking in terms of how Blizzard are going to get back into, like, hello, please respect us, please. We're not the bumbling buffoons that we used to be, even though we definitely all still are. But, I mean, they just have this room of, okay, Microsoft bought us. We're free of the initial settlement. And I think the PR is going to be largely, they're free of that a little bit. Which just means now they have to go, Warcraft expansion announcement, just don't fuck it up. Do not make any massive stupid mistakes there. Make sure the Warcraft mobile game is something people want to play. Then in, I guess in May is also the Overwatch 2 PvP beta. Get some good PR out of that. Get some good. Overwatch 2 is as good as 1 was. I mean, you just don't make it worse, basically, and you're fine.
Yeah.
And then Diablo in June, and you're like, okay, Blizzard might have some actual win.
Yep, on the actual video game front, there is a path to better times.
Yep.
And let's hopefully take it because we want good video games. So that's basically it for us. Look, Diablo Immortal, what sort of monetization would you be okay with? Keeping in mind that it's free to play, so they're going to have to make money from the damn thing somehow. And would you actually play it in PC? I think I'd give it a spin. I don't think I'd be super deep into it, but I'd at least try. So let me know. I'll see you next time.